Hello, everyone. IMS welcomes you all to our webinar series, Future You, Set Your Career Compass Right with Experts Insight. And this is your host, Pilani. So today our topic is build a career in general management. And in this webinar, you'll find out about why is general management a great career path? What is general management? What are the different types of job roles in general management? Top recruiters in general management, and what are they looking for in a candidate? Skills and profile building tips. And of course, since ZAT is next month on 8th of January, so we'll be also taking a few ZAT prep tips and PI tips from our speaker. So let's welcome our speaker, Harshit Jain. He is a TAS manager working at Titan as a product manager. Harshit is an alumnus of XLRI Jamshedpur. His undergraduate degree is from BITS Pilani, and he worked for 2 years as a software engineer before choosing to pursue an MBA and a career in general management. Welcome, Harshit Jain, and thank you so much for being here today for this session.
Always a pleasure to be on here, Pilani.
Yeah, thanks. So let's start from your career trajectory. So from BITS Pilani to XLRI, what made you decide to go for an MBA?
All right. So I'll just quickly set a context. So I did my undergrad as a computer science engineer because during my childhood, I used to like computers, and that naturally translated to a love for coding. So I did my computer science degree from BITS Hyderabad. And then I decided that I actually wanted to do an MBA ever since I was in college, because I realized I have a lot of soft skills that could help out in an MBA. So presentation skills, communication skills, just gelling with people. But what I thought was that since I'm already doing my degree, let me actually work in the workforce and get an experience of an actual corporate work environment. So I worked for 2 years as a software engineer in Hyderabad. And in the second year, I realized that, yeah, MBA is something that I actually do want to do, and it was not just something that I was being pushed into during my college. So in my second year of my work experience, I gave the CAD, I gave the SAT, and then I got into XLRI. And through XLRI, my main aim was to get into product management. That was my initial aim. Okay. But life has a way of putting its own curveballs into the equation. And here I am doing a marketing role at Titan.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about general management, as in, what is it? Is it different from, say, the other functions that are there? So say you have been with TAS, so you have worked in various roles, right? Various functions. Yeah.
Yes.
So now you are in product management, but of course, you've also been in marketing and you've been in the other fields. So let's first define what general management is, and then of course we will take what exactly, what are the functions, roles, and responsibilities.
Yeah. Okay, so if I had to say it in a sentence, general management would mean a role that has multiple functions embedded within it. So it is not just pure marketing or pure tech product management. So a role in a pure general management would include a bit of marketing, a bit of knowledge of sales. You would need to, and generally a role in a general management would entail a P&L responsibility. So you'd be responsible for the profit and loss statement of whatever you're handling. So you would need to know how to read financial statement. You need to have that financial acumen as well. So it is basically a mix and match of all functions merged into one role.
Okay.
That is the general trajectory of a general management career. How that differs from, say, other functions is that, for example, if you go into a sales role, that is a pure sales role that you get. You are in ABM, you will handle targets, you will be handling a team that will do the sales. Same with product management, you'll be handling a specific feature of a product. In a general management role, it can be that you're also handling the products in the brand, but you're also handling the communications activities, and you have to ensure that you price that product or do whatever is necessary to ensure that there's an element of profitability to that product. So it's a mix and match.
So of course, you said that, this right from bits to XLRI, your work experience in software, and then XLRI, all this happened one
Mhm.
after the other, and then you happen to be in general management. But was there any trigger whatsoever for you to choose or be in general management? Was it because of TAS? Or yeah, can you also talk a little bit about what exactly is TAS and how exactly that kind of build up your career in general management?
Sure, sure.
Mm.
So this will be a bit of a long answer because it requires a bit of
Sure,
context.
sure. Yeah. Please give details because obviously our attendees would like to know how if they are getting that opportunity, how to pursue it and all that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So why would one choose general management over, say, a pure role like a
Yeah.
marketing or a consult or a product management or an ops?
Correct.
So what happens is that many people are very set in their decisions that this is what I want to become or this is what my career will be. And MBA is basically just a way of validating that career path.
Okay.
But then there are many other people who are not so sure. They don't exactly know what they are looking for.
Okay.
Right. All they know is that they want something different and they have a variety of functions they would like to explore, but they don't know how to go about that. The thing with other functions is you get locked into that role and switching becomes difficult. With the general management role, that is much easier. You can actually delay that decision to a later point when you actually have knowledge of those functions as well.
Okay.
So, for example, if you think that you might want to try marketing and product management, or you also want to do an ops role, a general management role offers you that capability through different stints, through different opportunities within the group, and it offers you a few more years of exploring and finally figuring out that what is it that you want from your career. Now, TAS is one of the more premier roles that come on campus, especially in general management.
Okay.
So now I'll just quickly segue into what TAS exactly is.
Yes, yeah.
So TAS is essentially the Tata Group Management Trainee Program. Tata Group hires a select amount of candidates from top B schools as well as within the in-house Tata Group.
Okay.
And they provide them with 1 year in which they can try out different functions across different industries in different companies.
Okay.
And these are basically 3-month stints. So it's a taster of what exactly you might be interested in.
Okay.
So for example, my trajectory in TAS was that my first role was a tech product management thing that I was probably always looking for. It was a tech product management in one of the upcoming startups.
Okay.
The second was a proper ops factory-based role in a upcoming electronics plant that they have.
Okay.
And the third was a product/marketing role in Titan. And fourth was another essentially to the marketing role at the group headquarters. So there were 4 different roles, and you can see it's a different functions, different industries, different domains. So that actually gives you an idea that, okay, fine, this is what I thought I wanted, but this is maybe what is more interesting to my tastes.
Okay.
And that is something that TAS allows you to do.
Okay. So basically, in general management, you get the opportunity of trying out different things and then finally figuring it out. Okay, I like this one more than the other, so it's also easier for you to make a transition.
Yes.
It is because you've already tried it all. And so what would you recommend so is it something that you would recommend especially for people, because a lot of attendees, when they get into a B school, and even after finishing, as in completing their second year electives and everything, still they're still trying to figure out whether to get into marketing or whether finance is kind of more more clear cut for them, but yeah, whether to go for marketing or consulting or where will I fit better. So do you think for them to try for a general management function would be better so that.
Oh, definitely. I
Okay.
would concur with that statement.
Okay.
As I said, it gives you a chance to, for at least another year or so,
Yeah.
at least
Okay.
explore that maybe these are the domains I want to try. Maybe
Right.
this is what I might be interested in.
Hmm.
And after that, take up a role in the wider group that is according to
Okay.
your liking. So then
Right.
after the first year, then you probably have to choose a domain. But
Mm-hmm.
even
Okay.
then, switching industries becomes easier because
Okay.
at least in Tata, you have a variety of companies that are there in almost any industry that you can think of,
Okay.
with a multitude of domains available to them.
Okay. So now coming to the next question, next step. So if someone, so for you, how did TAS happen? First, you tell us that. Yeah.
Okay. So how did TAS happen? TAS
Hmm.
came for me for lateral placements. I got in
Okay.
through the lateral placement
Okay.
opportunities that happen on campus.
Hmm.
Lateral placements are basically those opportunities that are available for people with work experience, which
Right.
I had.
Hmm.
So as I said, I was somewhat still undecided on whether I wanted to go into tech product management or not.
Okay.
That was my situation.
Hmm.
When TAS came on campus, I thought that maybe I should just go ahead and apply to this. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Okay.
And I applied to it and I
Hmm.
got through. And
Okay.
while
So,
it might not have been my original goal of tech TM,
yeah, yeah.
I feel like it has panned out in the best way possible.
Right. So now, what if someone is a fresher, so
Mhm,
cannot sit for a lateral placement? So for
mhm.
them, is TAS still available or no, or something
Yes.
like this?
So it depends on your
Hmm.
year-to-year basis. So
Okay.
it is usually, it was in our year that TAS came for laterals.
Okay.
Otherwise, they usually come for an open placement
Okay. So
season.
fresher can also sit and okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And then there's the internships. There is no such restriction on whether they want to hire a fresher or a person with work experience. As
Okay.
long as it fits their criteria and their what they're looking for in a candidate, their work experience is no bar.
Okay. So what exactly are they looking for in a candidate? Generally, as in, and yeah, okay, maybe, you can just first talk about TAS, but then, of course, we'll also have to cover the bit about for general management functions, what are the things that they usually, look for in a candidate?
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
First TAS and then general management
All right.
overall. Yeah.
So sure. So as I said, the TAS program,
Hmm.
the main highlight is the first year in which you have 4 different stints across different function and different domains. These are usually, if you go through the business management track, the BM track for
Okay.
TAS, you get 3 business stints and 1
Okay.
community stint.
Okay.
So business stints are, as the name says, they are basically related to functions, domains, business strategies in different companies.
Okay.
A community stint is more tilted towards the giving aspect that Tata have. So the Tata Group companies have multiple community initiatives that they have going on in their company. So Tata Steel might be there, Tata Trust will be there, and different companies will have different CSR activities as well.
Okay.
So that stint is basically geared towards those kind of aspects of the entire group.
Okay.
After first year, you have the ability to choose and get interviewed within different group companies to decide on what function or what role you want to take.
Okay.
And after that, you become a part of that company, the one that you join itself.
Okay.
So you are on the roles as their employee. However, the TAS office keeps interacting with you. They have multiple training programs that they have lined up to help in your career growth and overall soft skill development. And they also assist you with looking for other roles within the group when you feel that you want a new opportunity.
Okay.
That is essentially the very nuts and bolts of the TAS program.
Okay. Okay.
Now, in terms of what are they looking for? Now, that is a tough question because everybody will have their own views on what they are looking for, right? Because everybody has a different experience. But from what I see is that they want somebody who is well-rounded.
Okay.
Right. It's not that you have a lot of work experience but not extracurriculars, or you're entirely based on extracurriculars but no work ex or no internships. What they're looking for is an overall well-rounded profile. Someone who is academically strong, someone who has a sufficient amount of PORs, extracurriculars, work ex, they have done something that always helps. And if you have a community service experience, that is always a good thing, but it is not necessary at all. So from what I see, a well-rounded profile and someone who is clear in the sense that their ethics or their ideals, they naturally flow in a consistent way. So as part of their selection process, they actually have you fill a form in which then you have to fill multiple behavioral questions. So these behavioral questions play an important part in the selection process as well. Which helps them judge key, is the candidate actually serious about what they are and what they want to do.
Before we proceed further, we'll take a few questions.
Sure.
So of course, a lot of people feel, especially the freshers, they feel that maybe they don't have an edge over the others. So there are these two questions are definitely that. Is it okay to do MBA directly after graduation without any work experience?
Okay, you asked a question that this is a case of the grass is greener on the other side, right? Freshers feel that we work experienced people have more advantages. We work experienced people feel that freshers have more advantages. So as you can see from my answer, where I'm getting at, it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't really matter because what will happen is if you do work ex, you will obviously have a different set of roles that you'll be more suited for as compared to a fresher. But the quantum of roles that are open to everyone is the same. It's just a question of actually doing your research and understanding what role will fit me the best. Right. And sometimes even if you have work ex, even you might get into roles that usually a fresher would be more suited for. It depends entirely on the point of your resume. Of course, as a fresher, some roles will be close to you, like a pure tech management role, tech PM role. That might be close because some companies, they do have work requirement, but not all companies. And there are always lots of opportunities across all functions for people without work experience.
I am a commerce student and a fresher. So GM or BM suits me. And please tell me the difference between, I think, business management and general management. Which one has? So the question is also, it's a long question. Is BM or GM have longer future survival, and is it high paid or not? A lot of things in one question.
Okay, so let me dissect that one by one. GM and BM are not mutually exclusive. GM, general management, is a subset of your entire business management. General management contains almost all aspects of business management. So as such, I would say there is no difference between business management and general management. Is more like a role role classification. While business management is what you study. So if you want to do general management, business management is an ideal track. Although TAS does have an HR track for general managers as well. So TAS has two different tracks. One is a business management track and one is a HR track. So an HR track has two HR stints, one business stint and one community stint. And those are more in line to become HRs with a focus on the future towards becoming a CHRO of a company.
All right.
So that is one aspect. BM, GM have a long future to survive. Yes, they do. There is always, it depends on what you do in your future career. If you perform well, obviously there will be a chance to serve. And is it high paid or not? Yes.
How to get into TAS without campus placement?
Okay. So TAS has two ways of entry. One is through campus placements, and one is through their in-house opportunity, where you are already part of a Tata Group company. You have worked for a minimum of 2 years, and you fit some age criteria, I believe. So I think it's you have not worked in the Tata Group for more than 6 years, but you have worked 2 years consecutively in a Tata company, and you have to give the GMAT.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Outside of these two avenues, there is no entry into TAS.
Okay. So I think, yeah, an MBA would be a good idea because
yes. If you want to get into TAS, then yes, an MBA would be a good idea.
Okay. Okay, there's a question about so what are the specializations or subjects one needs to choose for a general management role? What did you choose?
So I specialize in marketing and strategy.
Okay.
But as general management as such has no restriction on what specialization you need to choose. You can either be a marketing specialized graduate, or you can specialize in finance, you can specialize in ops. As long as you have that well-roundedness and that knowledge about all other aspects, you are a good fit for a general management role.
Okay.
There is no such specialization.
Okay. In TAS goes to which all B schools? Is it only the top, like the IMS and the XLRIs and all that, or does it?
So there is a list. They mention it on the website as well. I think it is so it is. They go to 10 or 12 B schools.
So the top ones probably, yeah.
Yeah, basically tier ones and the ABCs of the world. It goes to.
Okay. Okay, so if somebody is a absolute fresher and would like to get into, say, would like to sit for or be considered for TAS or for general management, what are the kind of profiles or what are the kind of things that they can do now as an MBA aspirant? That would build up something, a higher chance for them to get selected eventually. Because since, you did talk about that they do look for a
well-rounded profile.
Yeah, well-rounded profile. And if there are some volunteering or some sort of community work and all that, it always helps, community experience and all. So, yeah. So what would you tell them?
Okay. So
first the freshers and
it's a fresher, right?
Yeah.
So for a fresher, what I would say is, first of all, you need to introspect and look into what exactly you have done in college, your undergrad degree. You might want to list out all your achievements, and trust me, you have achieved something, because everyone has something, and we just don't know how to frame it. That is always a big problem in B schools. But that is something that is taught in B schools as well. So you need to understand that what you have done. Most of the times, what you have done is already good enough for a general manager, for example, for consideration for a task. So you might have done internships, you might have done some extracurricular projects, you might be part of clubs, you might have been part of a fest organizing body, you might have been a secretary of something, you might have academically achieved, you might have gotten a certain number of A's, you may be part of the top 10 percentile, you might be a gold medalist. I don't know. But all of these aspects help towards being in consideration for a general management role. I said community service, but I'll be honest, only do community service
if you are interested.
If you are actually interested in doing stuff for the community. Because you cannot fool the interviewer. If you're doing community service just for the sake of having it on your CV, you will not have any conviction in the answers that you give during your interview or during your behavioral question responses. And while you think you might be able to get it past the interviewer, I would just like to say that these interviewers are usually company directors that have more than 20, 25 years experience, and they have seen things. So they will know. But yes, if you are interested and if you genuinely have some cause that you believe in, definitely do go for a community service experience. That always helps.
Okay, so you would definitely recommend our aspirants to think through their entire, what all they have done and start jotting them down maybe, And then,
Absolutely.
gradually by the time, you're sitting for an interview and all, you already have a kind of, a clear point, like, these are the things I've probably done, and, you could probably talk about it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I've done computer engineering. So which can be the best suited branch in MBA for me? Functions. Yeah.
Okay. So now that is right up my pay scale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So as a computer science engineer, you would be suited for doing a product management role. But for that, ideally, you would require a few years of maybe 1 or 2 years of work experience. That is, for many of the top companies, that is a must.
Okay.
The work experience. So, like for example, a Microsoft will not hire without work experience. They will not shortlist you at all.
Okay.
Right. So, a product management is definitely well suited for you. Apart from that, it depends on what other certifications that you have. For example, if you're interested in finance and you're planning to do your CFAs, certification, then finance becomes a specialization that you can look in. Right.
Okay.
And marketing is always open to everyone. Marketing is a specialization that does not particularly require any pre-known certifications or anything. And marketing as a specialization is much more suited for freshers as well.
Yeah.
Because many companies, they look for fresh graduates as part of their sales or marketing workforces.
Okay.
But if you had to choose one, product management. You already know tech, you should probably go back into tech.
Okay. So tell me now, in your case as well, in TAS, you've been in different functions and now you're in product management. So is that the one that made you also feel like, okay, this is the function that I want to be in?
Okay. So just a quick context about my function. When I say product management, it is not the tech product management that we imagine. It is not that I am building an app or anything.
Okay.
Right. So in my case, product management is more of a combination between a brand manager and a product manager. So as a quick summary, I handle 2 brands. I am responsible for 2 brands. And my role is a division between deciding the new product lineup for that brand. So this is watches, a new product lineup for that brand for the next year, what I would like to sell, how I would like to go about getting those products made, as well as the communications activities for that brand. So what sort of advertisements I would like to create, campaigns I would like to create. Ensure that everyone is somewhat happy. You cannot make everyone fully happy. So somewhat happy is the compromise that we come to. You must be able to do that. And the third soft skill is, again, it's another just basically multitasking again. So I think multitasking is both the hard and the soft skill in my aspect.
Okay.
Yeah.
If someone is interested in in a startup, would like to work in a startup or would like to have their own establishment, so and they are also interested in doing an MBA, so which specialization do you think you would say that, I mean, if you were in their place, which one would be that specialization that you would select? Is it general management because you get to know everything, or what is it?
So fair enough. So a startup, to be honest, is a very different beast from anything that is taught in an MBA. Because of course you require all the knowledge that you have in an MBA, but you also require a lot of street smarts that may not be taught in an MBA. So selecting a specialization for, say, a startup, you would need a mix of everything. Since you are building an entire company from scratch, you need to be aware of the financials, the operation side of things, how you would manage a ground team, how you would manage a marketing team. You would also need to be, in the initial, there will be no HR. You are the HR, you are the marketing manager, you are the sales team, you are the finance guy. You are everything. So essentially, you need to know all. Now, general management as such is not a stream usually in an MBA. That is something that one goes into.
Correct.
So to be honest,
Hmm.
selecting any stream makes sense. It is the electives that you choose during your second year of MBA that make all the difference. So
Okay.
if you're interested in a startup, what you might want to do is, apart from your stream electives, the discipline elective that you already have, you might want to also look at electives from different other specializations as well. So if you're say in an ops specialization, you might want to look at doing some marketing elective that you feel are key to your requirements, or doing some finance electives as well, doing some tech electives, IT electives, doing some ops electives.
Okay.
Having a mix of all electives in your second year would make it much more viable for you to do a startup. And after that, you need a whole lot of luck.
Okay. Okay. There's a question about, I'm working in core sector company in power sector domain. With MBA, what are the opportunities where I can take advantage of my experience in the core sector? Power sector.
Okay. So if you're in the core sector, an ops role makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Because if you're in the core sector and correct me if I'm wrong, a core sector means a lot of on-ground factory,
and is in
like
power sector domain. So yeah, I mean,
exactly. So what I think is you'd have gone in the field a lot. You might have analyzed that, okay, maybe this is the right place to build a power plant, or maybe this is what we need to do to ensure that the power is flowing everywhere correctly. That is my understanding.
Okay.
But as I said, so in that case, an ops role would make a lot of sense.
Okay. Okay.
An ops role is pretty much a clear path for in that case.
Okay. Okay. There's a question about cracking the test, but of course, this person is from arts background and is probably taking CAT next year. For a candidate from arts background with 2 years of work X, is it okay to take a 7 to 8 months break and crack MBA? I need to work on quants. So yeah.
All right. So my suggestion has always been no need to take a break.
Okay.
Right. And especially if you're giving the CAT next year, you have, if you actually start today, you have plenty of time. The CAT, you need to work on quant, right? So I think your evenings, if you can make time out for it, 1 to 2 hours a day for most evenings, will get you up to speed in quant.
Right. Also, also Abhinav, so he's the one, who has this question. Also, Abhinav, if you leave your job and take a break and preparing for CAT, it also builds up too much pressure. So I think, that's also another thing you have to consider, that whether, you can afford to take that break. That's a very personal decision one has to take also. Yeah.
Agreed. Plus, in my case, if I took a break from a job and only worked on CAT, I would probably get into my own head and start overthinking things.
Correct. Yeah.
So for me, a job was always a nice outlet. I could go, I could work on the code, I could just chill with the colleagues, drink tea, discuss politics, whatnot. I have no idea.
Right.
Right. But that was always a different aspect of life that I'm like, yes, I can.
Correct.
Plus the money at the end of the month always helps.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. So so you have to decide after proper due diligence of your state at the moment. So okay. Next, let's talk about the career trajectory in general management. So how do you grow? What's the entry level and post an MBA, of course? So an entry level to where all? So is there a possibility for a general management a professional to become a CXO of an office or a CEO of a company? Yeah, how does the trajectory work?
Okay. So your entry point is generally at middle management.
Okay.
Right. So you enter somewhere so that is the first thing. It kind of accelerates your career from the start. You enter so for example, some companies will have different designations. Some companies will call it a product manager. Some companies will call it a brand manager.
Correct.
Some companies will call it, you might be an associate business manager or area business manager for a larger area. Or some companies call it a DGM, which sounds very nice. It's Deputy General Manager. So that's a very nice designation as well
To start with.
to start with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you have different designations, and
Okay.
your growth is basically up each level. And yes, CXO is definitely on the cards.
Okay.
Right. So I know many task managers who have become CXOs.
Okay.
Right. You can always look in their profile that they became a CXO of X company, Y company, and that too within say 20 years, which is a very rapid growth in that sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You can probably become a CMO in 15. You can probably become a division head in 10. You can become the subdivision head in say 7. There is rapid enough growth as such.
Okay. There's a question where I'm a BTech mechanical student. Which MBA specialization is better?
I mean, again, depends on what.
Depending on
what you want. So
Correct.
I think I should I think I should just give out a blanket statement right now that if you're looking to do an MBA, I want you to think about the financial outlay that you're putting out on it.
Correct.
My MBA cost me about 26 lakhs. Right. MBA generally costs 20 to 26 lakhs. If you're going to spend 20 to 26 lakhs, you should probably be doing something that you want to do and not something that you feel is right. Or there is no right path, as I said, after each degree. I know many civil engineers who became excellent marketers. I know many computer science engineers who are working on shop floors and doing very well. Right. I know many mechanical engineers who went into finance. There is no right path. So there is no right specialization. There's only a specialization that might make life easier. But then the question is that something you want to do? Do you want an easier life, or do you want to do something that you actually enjoy?
Right.
For example, if I say a mechanical engineer, I'll probably again say an ops role is probably the best fit for you. But you might not want to work on a shop floor. So then what's the point of doing that?
Yeah, right. Okay. What specialization in MBA will be better suited for a mechanical engineering person working in manufacturing sector? Do you think again ops to some extent?
So the traditional fit would be an ops role, right? Since you already have experience of manufacturing as a career, and you are a mechanical engineer, an ops role would probably be the perfect fit. So companies like an Amazon or some big utility company, they would probably definitely look at hiring you for greenfield projects, for warehouse management, for even for category management. Category management essentially an ops role, right? So you would probably fit in well there.
But of course, I think people usually, I mean, even if you are from BTech or MTech or any other fields, and if you are doing an MBA, it also gives you a very good opportunity to shift your, to make a transition to another field. So
of course,
it also depends on that. So yeah, I'm okay. There's a question where I'm very confused between marketing and HR. I'm a fresher from engineering background and getting admission in both the fields. Please enlighten. So yeah, marketing and HR. That's like
okay. So then, in this case, I would go about it as follows. Do you want to become an HR? Yes, do HR. No, don't do HR. And what does an HR entail? An HR basically entails managing the resources, which is a word I don't like using in relation to people, but it managing the resources of a company, right? To manage the resources of the company, it involves talent management, their growth, their training, recruitment, payroll, a lot of different things. So you have to see, is that something that you are interested in? If yes, then HR makes a lot of sense for you. If you don't want to do HR, then marketing is probably the stream to go, because that again has a lot of opportunities to go into. You can probably again go into general management and still delay the decision to decide what exactly you want to be a few more years.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about your task time. So can you share a challenging situation that you faced at TAS, like in general management, like, one of the functions, and what did you do? And also a typical day for you at
Okay.
Titan. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let me think of the challenging situation. What I would say is, in my second stint, when I was at a greenfield plant, which was being set up, that was probably the most challenging situation. In it, because there were so many, it was a fresh project and so many new stakeholders, so many different stakeholders, and this was an industry I have no experience in.
Okay.
Like nil, nothing. I have no idea. So getting to terms with it and trying to earn the respect of all the stakeholders who have had 20 years working in factories and plants and setting them up.
Right.
That in itself is a challenge. So getting to that point, that was the most challenging situation I probably faced. And the best way to go about that is to be very clear that yes, I am new, but I am willing to learn and try and understand what the experience of the other people in the company were. What exactly have they picked up in their careers, and incorporate that into your arsenal.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And for me, a typical day at Titan, generally starts at 9:30. I go to office every day. Right? No work from home for me.
Okay.
I go to office every day. I open up my laptop. I get a coffee.
Okay. Yeah, that's like getting into absolute details. Okay.
Yeah. Now details.
Yeah.
The first part of the day is generally responding to mails and trying to quell any fires that might have come up in the night.
Okay.
Right. And given my role, I try to usually do all the marketing and comms related stuff in the morning, all the major chunky bits.
Okay.
Then lunch, and after lunch, I usually try to do any sort of strategic things or any meetings that are necessary, or just work on things that I need to get done, and I don't need other stakeholder options.
Right.
And in the evening, if there's something that I really need to ensure that I need to talk with other stakeholders, that's when I try to do it in the evening before I leave. That is generally my day. And when I come back home, if there's anything that needs to be done, maybe sometimes I work on it, but that's not the most common thing to do.
So would you say that in general management, like if we are comparing, say, functions and roles, do you think for work-life balance is much better in general management than, say, in this function than, say, in consulting?
Okay. So
investment banking, I'm not even counting because there is no work-life balance. It's just work. So let's not talk about that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Fair enough. So my answer to this will be like my answer to most other questions. It depends.
Okay.
It depends. So it depends on the role that you get. So for example, if you are in a greenfield project, or if you're in a smaller company, which needs to grow, you can say goodbye to your work-life balance, even in TAS,
so
even in a general management role.
Okay. So that's almost like, having a startup sort of a thing, like, you have to keep doing everything constantly.
Exactly. If you're in a larger company, yes, your work-life balance becomes easier. Most days you are fine. There are obviously crunch times or crunch seasons that come in when you have to work, and it does not matter how much you work, it just has to get done.
Okay.
Right. So the answer is it depends, but on a general, if you average it out, then probably I would say yes, your work-life balance is slightly better than, say, other functions. Your probably best work-life balance might come in tech PM in a large company.
Okay.
That might be the best work-life balance you might get.
Okay. So for there was a question about does student exchange program help? I believe it's regarding getting selected by one of the recruiters for general management, like
the
TAS
answer,
or something.
Yeah, sure. The answer is generally no.
Okay.
Student exchange program, it's a nice experience to have, but if you're looking for any benefits in your career progression, it's negligible.
Okay.
It's not really a big deal in terms of getting selected for role. However, it is always a nice experience to have, simply because It gives you a wider world view. You get to experience a different culture. You
Right.
get to experience different locations. You get to see the world, or at least part of Europe for a while. And therefore, you are a different person by the time you come back.
Right.
So if you're looking for a hard impact on your selection, probably not.
Okay.
In terms of soft skills, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. A
Yeah.
certain amount of exposure to
A
another
certain amount of
culture, to another
exposure.
place. Yeah.
Correct. But
Correct.
don't expect it to have any benefit on your CV.
Okay.
That is all I'll say.
Okay. Yeah. So before we wrap up, can you tell us, give us a few tips in two parts. One is, of course, for MBA aspirants, what all they can do now. So our attendees are taking CAT, they've already taken CAT this year, and the rest are taking CAT next year. So there's plenty of time. Some of them are also taking XAT and the other tests that are there, like IIFT is next week. So yeah, so they're all taking tests of some kind. And so tips for them. And also, if you can recommend maybe a book or two for them to read now, which will probably help them to understand MBA or a path forward.
Okay. So if you are giving your exams this year, if you're given CAT this year, you probably have prepared as much as you can.
Yeah.
Right. There is not really much you can because
prepare
given
extra,
the time frame,
yeah,
prepare extra.
Yeah.
But you can probably refine what some aspects of where you might be still a bit weaker in and go about it that way.
Okay.
Right. If you're giving it next year, you have plenty of time to prepare. You might want to start early. Give mocks. Try and understand where exactly you might need to put an effort. So like for me, it was quant. I was a bit slower in quant. So quant was the main thing that I prepared the entire time.
Okay.
VARC, DILR was something I was confident in. So that was more of a sustenance mode. Just practice it enough that I am fresh with it. But quant was something I practiced intensely.
Okay.
That is one thing.
Tips on like books. Yeah.
Recommend
books. Yeah.
So if you are preparing for your tests, Arun Sharma.
No. Give us like recommend books that our MBA aspirants can read. Something else, like things that can inspire them, or can even tell them something about general management. Are there any books that are specifically, will help them to understand, like say, somebody's story, somebody's success story, or something? Some books, that you can.
Recommend. So if you ask me to name names, I will probably not be able to name names simply because I might not have read. But reading the biographies of say Steve Jobs might help you understand what was his thought process when he was trying to build a company or build a product, or what did he do right, what did he do wrong, because he was not a perfect individual, right?
Correct.
So you might, if you read that book and critically analyze it, you might see that he has some flaws that you might be able to iron out in your own aspects.
Okay.
Right? So reading autobiographies might be helpful. Self-help books usually helps out. Like How to Win Friends and Influence People is always a go-to book if you want to become good at communication stakeholders. Apart from that, just reading any fiction also helps. It just helps you get a better worldview and exposes you a lot more. Life in general.
Okay. So any last minute tip for our people, for our MBA aspirants, for deciding on functions or for profile building or whatever they can do?
Okay. So my suggestion is don't sweat about it too much. MBA is a 2-year experience and there are multiple opportunities to build your profile. So at this point, I would, if you're going for an MBA this year, I would suggest just prepare for your GDPI the best you can. Read the newspaper, practice GDs, do all that stuff. Don't worry about the function too much. Take it one ball at a time. Don't focus on the overall scorecard. Focus on the next one. That is my suggestion.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's all we have time for today. I would like to thank all the attendees for all the lovely questions that were asked. And of course, thank you so much, Harshit Jain, for giving us insights on general management and how to build a career in general management. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pilani. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for attending.